Hello, Stefan. How are you doing today?
I'm pretty good. It's been a pretty good day.
All right. You're chilling at home?
Yeah. It's a nice, fun time, nice and in the general groove.
Sweet. Okay.
Yeah.
Let me start asking you a couple of questions about your background as an artist. I hear you play saxo, right?
Mm-hmm. Mostly saxophone.
Mm-hmm.
I'm also a flute player. I mean, I started in the clarinet. I started because I didn't want to play sports in PE. And it wasn't really the sports, it was just the shower. I just didn't want to shower with a bunch of other guys. So I just kind of snuck out of PE on the last day before they started the dressing out, and the band room was right next to that area. So I just kind of snuck into that area and told the guy that was there that I was supposed to be there, and he believed me, and I just stayed there. That was the beginning of me playing music altogether. It was just me escaping physical education class. My plan for life was that I was going to be a chemist. Was the original plan. Was because I just loved how things work together and the general composition of things and how they meld and become these other things. And music kind of does that. Music is very similar in that aspect. Once you know what it takes to fit these pieces together, they become this temporary beauty, and that's what really pulled me into it when I started to do it. It started as an escape, but it just kind of became more of a home.
Whenever you started your career as an artist, everything was completely different than what it is nowadays. So that's why I wanted to ask you, what is your perspective about globalization? How does that affect you as an artist?
It affects me, affects everybody. There was a time where you could be a musician or an artist or a juggler or a magician or any of these other arts. For the longest time, the person you were competing with was the other people in town or the other people in the area. It's small pond, big lake, that kind of situation. And now it's when you have a show, when you have a performance, when you make something, it's you're not just competing with everyone around you in the city or the state or even the world. You're competing with everything that's ever existed. Anything that could ever be a video is competition for you. If you were a rapper and you came out and you did a thing, people would say, well, that's good, but it wasn't as good as that Busta Rhymes video I saw from 1998. You're competing with time, with all the artists who have ever done anything similar to what you've done in the history of video. You're competing with. And that's a much more, it's much more daunting in that sense. You have a lot to learn from and you have a lot to go off of, but everything is compared to everything. And
right.
That just makes things a lot more difficult as far as finding your space.
Mm-hmm. Or finding inspiration could be easier, but also creating something original is harder.
Exactly, because everything is similar to something. And for people to be able to just pull up the thing that it's similar to just kind of kills your flow. People feel much less original when you can look back at the thing that you got that originality from,
Right.
Yeah. Nobody's really gonna give a lot of credit to the person that say Prince learned from, because they don't really know a lot of recordings from that guy. But anybody who learned from Prince, they're gonna go, he got that from that.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah.
Going from that, I feel we're all subconsciously getting inspired by a wide variety of stimuli around us. When you find that inspiration, do you usually rely on your own intuition, or do you find that inspiration online from any other source?
I guess the answer is, I don't know, inspiration is a weird thing. It finds you when you're not looking. People find incredible inspiration shower. It's just when you're not really thinking about it is when it finds you. Mm-hmm. And so, there's a lot of things on the internet that I would find for inspiration, but there's also a lot of just general life things. And especially as far as music's concerned, music is more of a visual thing for me. Like I kind of see landscapes and moving videos when I make music. When I'm doing improv things, it's really just a landscape I'm trying to create based on what I already like see in my mind. And the sound creates a vision that I can see. And so sometimes if I watch certain like movies that are very visually appealing, it would give me musical inspiration that I wouldn't notice until I started playing like randomly in a whole other thing. I would see that landscape and start playing, and then like that would come into what I was doing in a way that I didn't expect.
Okay, so it sounds to me like you're one of those people who like to be paying attention to more than one thing at a time, right?
Yeah, definitely does.
Okay.
Like I definitely do pay attention to many things all at once. There's balls in the air all the time. There's the dancing, there's the acting, there's the music. There's too much life and there's not enough time. Every inspiration is inspiration, you know?
So do you apply that to your projects? Do you have more than one project at a time?
Yes.
Or how do you, I guess, deal with that situation?
I will do parts of things and then leave them and come back to them at another time. Like there's things that I would start to work on and feel an inspiration for, and then realize it's going to take a lot more. I should probably grab a couple of other like little things that I'm thinking of and then come back to that thing, either when the inspiration comes back or when I have more time or when I have like the person that I would want to collaborate with when that comes up. There's some things where you see a natural end, where it's like you're just not at the space to learn that thing or at the space to do that thing the way that you see it in your mind, and you need someone else there to like fill in that gap. And so there's a lot of addendums in my like list of ideals and projects that are kind of waiting on the next quest item to make it move on to the next space.
Perfect. How do you define success in your artistic career? What does it mean to you to be a successful sax player? How does it feel to grasp that success?
Success in a way is recognition. Success is that feeling that you can walk into a place and you know that people are going to want you to play there. There's a good amount of times where I'd walk into a place and someone would ask me like where my instrument is, excited to just hear whatever it would be that would be coming out of my head at that time. I feel like in a big way, that's a success in the sense that like you know that what comes out of your heart in time is a thing that people are very interested in. But in that sense, it's a very successful feeling. And
I'm sure it's satisfying too, right?
Yeah. In a lot of ways. It's a great rush, and the weird thing about music is that it's just like, it's all memory is what music is. And to create that memory in the heart of a bunch of other people.
That's beautiful.
Is a, beautiful situation.
Awesome. So going on to our next topic, let's talk about challenges that you've overcome as an artist. Can you share a significant moment in your life that you faced challenge and share with us how you overcame it?
Well, I lived in North Louisiana for a good while, and that was a difficult situation to kind of like spread your wings in. There's a lot of very specific things that people expect. A lot of those things make it difficult for artists to actually thrive just out of people that are there. It felt like it was a difficult to figure out what or who I wanted to be. And that's a strange thing because like the way that I would say that I got out of that was literally physically getting out of that and moving down here to New Orleans, where there's a lot of judging, but it's a very Dionysian place where like people judge but they don't care. You can still be yourself as long as you don't mind the judging, because the judging doesn't matter. People will still be fine with you.
Isn't that something that happens everywhere though? Why do you say it's different down here?
In the other place I was, the judging really mattered. It really mattered. If someone judged you in a certain way, like, you would feel it everywhere that you went. Like, here, a person could not necessarily like what you do and really, like, get over it, and you can have a great time with them. There, it was more like, if they didn't like you, they didn't like you. And they weren't gonna like you for a long time, you know? Like, it's just a hard thing to get over. And that's, like, the entirety of society there. Like, other people would like different things and be okay with different things, but here I think it's more of a place where people will more, like, let you be you.
It's more open-minded, you would say.
In a way, more open-hearted.
Okay.
The mind's just as closed, but the heart is more open.
And so, looking into the future, what impact do you expect your art to have?
I would like what I do to inspire people to be as much of themselves as they can be. I would like for people to realize that they're necessary and that they can create a place where they can love themselves every day. Yeah, that's a realization I want everyone to be able to come to. And if what I do helps them realize that about themselves and about the world around them and about the people around them, then that would be the best situation and the most success.
And is there anything you wish you had known at the beginning of your career?
There was a thing a friend of mine said where it was like, if you want to be in the scene, you got to be in the scene. And pretty much what he was talking about was like, if you want to play out in bars, you got to be out in bars. But it translates to every kind of art that you could possibly want to do. There's so many times where a person's like, well, I want to do this, but I don't know if it's good enough to, like, be out there. And I think what people don't necessarily realize is that it doesn't matter if it's not good enough to be out there. The more you do it, the better it gets. And the more you do it in public, the better you get at helping the public to understand it. And you learn more when you're first learning in the first place. So the thing I wish I would have known is that you can just go out there as much as you can, and every second you're out there doing it, you're learning more about what it takes to do it and how you want to do it and how you don't want to do it and what kind of situation you want to be in and what you don't want to be in. And the only way you know those things is by being in it. So yeah, I think that's the main thing. Preparation is procrastination in a lot of cases. And so, like, sometimes you'll think, well, I want to do this thing, but it's not quite where it needs to be. And it'll never get there if you don't do it. In a lot of cases, you know, you can't just hide something in the corner and then come out with perfect stuff. It's the dream, but it's not the way things turn out.
Awesome. That's great advice. So to wrap up the interview, I wanted to ask you, do you own your own label or do you have your own brand that you'd like to share with us?
I have, there's a clothing brand that I have called Kuttes Savages. It's French for wild frocks, essentially. It is old Afrocentric based, indigenous, mostly summer wear. It's New Orleans. Everything's hot most of the times. And so it's mostly like loincloths, and I call them Shango pants, and they're like open pants on the sides. It's very omnisexual. Everyone can wear them. It accentuates everyone's body. It's the most, I feel like it's a very welcoming kind of androgyny as far as clothing is concerned. As I've seen, like, androgyny and other things, it's always been like really big clothes so people can't see a body's form or a body's anything. And it's like more what my brand does is to accentuate the body that everyone has. It doesn't section away like which sets of body parts either person has. It's a celebration of the body that everyone has. And like, yeah, it goes back to the whole love yourself, enjoy yourself, mostly enjoy yourself. Like, that's my aim, to get everyone to enjoy themselves in their life. With or without a purpose, that's the best thing that you can do.
Very true. All right. Well, thank you so much for being with us here today. And hopefully we'll see you soon. Everyone here is going to see and hear what you had to say, which were some really wise words. And yeah, hope to see you soon. Thank you so much.
Sure. I'll be around. Thank you.